So, you've been studying SMC for months, maybe even years, and you're still not profitable. Now, don't worry, you're not alone. In fact, 94% of SMC traders never make it. And in the next 15 minutes, I'm gonna show you the 3 reasons why, and I'm gonna give you the solution to each one so you don't keep making these costly mistakes. But before I get into it, let me say this. If you can't sit here and give me the next 15 minutes of your full attention, I'm talking no phone, taking notes, then honestly, you've already answered the question of why you're probably not profitable. Because trading isn't about knowing more. It's about focus. It's about discipline. It's about following your rules and doing the things that nobody else is willing to do. So if you can't stay locked in for 15 minutes to watch a video that's literally telling you why you're failing and how to fix it, you're not gonna sit at the charts and follow your rules every day. You're not gonna go and backtest and collect your data properly. You're not going to do the work it takes to be a part of that 6%. So if that's you, just go ahead, close the video now, no hard feelings. You're just not ready. But if you're still here, then lock in, because what I'm about to show you is the difference between staying stuck where you are and actually breaking through. The first point is what I call the cycle. You see, I see this all the time, and honestly, it happened to me too when I first started learning how to trade. Most SMC traders aren't failing because they're not putting in the work. They're failing because they're stuck in a cycle they don't even realize that they're in. Here's a little of how it goes. Let's say you start learning SMC. You watch some videos. You feel like you're getting it. And then you go to the charts, you take a trade, and you lose. So what do you do next? You go back and study. You watch another video. You take another course. You convince yourself there's something you missed, something out there that's going to make it all click. And you learn it. You feel a little bit more confident. And you go back to the charts. You take another set of trades, and you end up losing again. And so what do? You go back again, and you study more again. You watch another video, another mentor, another system. Because in your head, the answer must be more information. It must be something you haven't discovered yet. So you study, lose, study more, lose again, study even more, and lose harder. And that's the loop. And most traders spend years inside of that loop without ever realizing it's the loop itself that's the problem. Because every time you go back and study after a losing period, you're reinforcing the idea that the answer is out there somewhere. And that if you just find the right teacher, the right course, the right video, it'll finally click. And so you keep searching, you keep consuming, you keep adding more information to your brain. And the longer this process goes on, the worse it gets. Because every time you cycle through it, your confidence drops a little more. You start to doubt yourself. You begin to wonder if maybe this isn't just what you're built for. You watch other traders posting wins online and think, what are they doing that I'm not? And so I'll tell you what they're doing. They got out of this cycle. At some point, the traders who actually make it stop trying to learn their way out of losing. They realize the answer was never another video. The answer was to stop consuming and start building, to take what they already know and then turn it into something that they can actually trade. Rules they actually follow every session. A process they don't change every time they lose a couple of trades. Because here's the truth that nobody seems to be telling you. You can lose 5 trades in a row with a real edge and it means nothing. That's just variance. But if you don't have a system with rules, you'll convince yourself that it's broken. You'll abandon it. And you'll go right back into that same loop that you're trying so desperately to escape. The 6% aren't smarter than you. They're not more talented than you. They just stopped studying and started executing. They picked one approach, they built rules around it, and then they committed to it long enough to actually see if it worked. And that's the core difference. And that brings me to the second reason that 94% of traders trading SMC ultimately fail. It's because they have no system with rules. And so if point 1 was the cycle that traps you, this is the one that finishes you off. Because here's what most traders never accept. You can fix the studying loop. You can stop watching new videos and you can commit to one approach and you'll still lose. Because committing to an approach alone isn't enough. You need rules underneath it. This is the problem that quietly destroys more SMC traders than anything else. And most of them never even realize that it's the problem. They blame the market, they blame their psychology, they blame their broker, they blame everything except the fact that they've never had a single rule guiding what they actually do in the market. They have ideas, they have a rough plan, they have a vague sense of what it is that they're looking for, But ideas aren't rules. Concepts aren't rules. And when there's nothing solid holding your decisions in place, every session becomes a coin flip. You execute one way today, and then a different way tomorrow. You can't repeat your wins because you can't even explain why they occurred in the first place. And you can't fix your losses because you've got no reference point to fix them against. And so you're just guessing in slow motion and calling it trading. And this is where most traders lose years of their life. Because the worst part isn't even the losing. The worst part is that you can keep going like this forever and never figure out what's actually wrong. You'll keep thinking the next strategy will fix it, the next mentor, the next concept, and it never will. Because rules aren't a concept you learn. Rules are something that you build, or someone gives them to you. Now, I've already made a separate video that goes deep into exactly how to solve this, and it's literally called SMC doesn't work for 96% of traders. And so this is how to fix it. It's linked below this video. And the truth is, if you only watch one thing after this, make it that, because everything that I'm covering in this video matters, but that's the one thing that actually shows you what the fix looks like. And so finish this video first, and then go and watch that one straight after. Because honestly, until you sort out this problem, nothing else in trading is going to matter. You can read every book on psychology. You can read and fix your risk management. You can keep studying. But if you don't have rules to follow, you've got nothing. You need rules for how you read market structure, rules for what makes a valid order block and what doesn't, rules for when and what type of liquidity matters and when you should ignore it. And then you need rules for fair value gaps that are worth trading, which ones you should skip, which ones you should follow. And then you need rules for how all of these pieces fit together to give you an actual strategy, an actual trading plan. Every concept you use of the chart needs rules behind it. Otherwise, you're just making it up as you go along. And making it up as you go along is exactly what 96% of other SMC traders are doing right now, even without realizing. And that's why most of them will never make it. Not because they're not smart enough, not because they don't work hard enough, but because they spent years trading without rules and never realized that that was the main problem. And so my advice to you is don't be one of them. Solve this problem first, and then everything else gets easier as you do. And that brings me to the third reason of why 94% of traders still fail. The third point is the concept of trading too many pairs. And this one is going to catch you off guard for the most part, because almost nobody talks about it, but it's quietly killing more SMC traders than they care to realize. You see, most traders out here are trying to trade 3, 4, sometimes even 5 pairs at once. Gold, NASDAQ, Euro dollar, GBP, JPY, sometimes crypto on top of that, jumping from chart to chart looking for opportunities. And they think in their head that more pairs means more opportunity, which means more chance to make money. And actually, it's the opposite. Now, I know what some of you are thinking.
But I see big traders on YouTube and Twitter trading loads of pairs all the time.
Yeah, you do. But what you don't see is what's behind that. Those traders have multiple entry models. They have different strategies for different pairs. Each one of them is actually tested. Each one has its own rules. They spent years building that out. What you're watching is the finished product and thinking that that's the starting point, but it's not. They earned the right to trade those multiple pairs by mastering one pair first, then building a tested model for the next, and then the next, and so on and so forth. You're trying to skip straight to where they are, and that's greed. And as we know, greed kills traders before skill has ever had a chance to develop. And so here's what nobody's telling you right now. Not every pair produces the same data. What may work on gold doesn't necessarily work on euro dollar. The way that NASDAQ moves isn't the way that GBP, JPY moves. They're different volatility, different session behavior, different reactions to liquidity, different ranges, different rhythm. They're different in so many ways. And so when you take a strategy and apply it across 5 different pairs without testing each one individually, you're literally gambling on 5 different markets at the same time. Because what makes you win on gold might be the exact thing that makes you lose on euro dollar. And you'd have no idea of that. You just think that your strategy is inconsistent. When really, your strategy might be working on one pair and completely failing on another. And you can't see it because you've mixed all of your data into one mess. This is exactly why you need rules. And then why you need to test those rules on each pair before you ever trade them. And so until you actually test it and see the data for yourself, you simply don't know. And if I'm being honest, let's be real for a second. You're not even profitable yet. Why are you trying to trade 3+ pairs? Master one. That's what I did. I picked one pair, I tested it, I learned its behavior, its rhythm, its ranges, its session, the characteristics of the profile, the way it moves in London versus New York session, the way it reacts to news, the way it sweeps liquidity, every single detail that you can think of, until I truly knew that pair inside and out. And then, and only then, when I was actually profitable on that one pair, did I even start considering others. And so that's the order. Become profitable on one pair first. Then once you have a system backed by rules that's proven to work, then you can test new pairs and see if the data supports your hypothesis. And then you add, if the data says. And if it doesn't, don't trade it. It's that simple. But what most traders do is the complete opposite. They try to be profitable on 5 pairs before they're even profitable on 1. And then they're wondering why nothing's working, why they keep taking so many losses. Stop spreading yourself so thin. Pick one pair, learn it, build your system around it, test it properly, and get profitable. And then expand. That's how you actually build something real, instead of just chasing setups across every market with no idea of what's actually working. And so those are the 3 reasons that 94% of SMC traders actually win. And like I said, the biggest one of the 3, the rules, the one thing that holds everything else. If you fix that, the rest gets way easier. And like I said, there's a video below this one called SMC Doesn't Work for 94% of traders. This is how to fix it. Go watch it. It walks you through exactly how to solve it. So go ahead, give it a watch.